just we are writing a program. So here I'm just declaring two variables. First int v1. Okay. Then one more variable we can declare int v2. Okay. So two variables I have declared, and we can initialize the variables also using assignment statement. So the initialization is also same as common as you use in the C language. Okay. So v1 is equal to 10. I'm giving v1 equal to 10. Okay. And next you can add some instructions. Okay. So yesterday I told you that, right, to use comments. So comments we will declare here like it. So like this, v1 is here. I'm just writing v1 is initialized to v1 is initialized to 10. Okay. So like this you can write the comments. It's not it's v1. Okay. So next, so I'm just giving another value for v2 is equal to v1 plus 10. Okay, so this is a statement. This is a statement. Okay, right. So two variables are initialized. So variables, usage of variables is similar to that of a C language. Okay, so similar to that of first what we use in C language. So v1 v1 plus 10. Okay. So now if suppose if I want to display v1 and v2, what should I use? If I want to display the values of v1, yeah, cout, very good. Cout, okay, just like print statement, right? Cout. So I'm just writing v1 plus 10. v1 plus 10 is, okay. So every statement should be terminated by a semicolon. Okay. So next again cout v2. Enter. Tell about this Intel manipulator also. Return 0. Right. So can you guess the output for this program? Can you just tell me the output for this program? What output you'll get for this?
v1 plus 10 is 21.
Yeah, v1 plus 10 is 20. Okay, so we can run the program and check. We are getting v1 plus 10 is 20. If suppose I'm using just like this, v1 so what is my possible output?
v1 plus 10 is 10, ma'am.
10.
Then space, it will give 20 in line.
Very good. Very good. Okay. So v1 plus 10 because, yeah, see like this. Okay. So here you won't get space because if you want to get space, you have to use /n operator. Okay. So that the space operators I'll teach later. So at that time we can use that. Okay. So here using v1 plus 10 is in quotes. v1 plus 10 is, it is in quotes. So whatever values given in the quotes you'll get as such. Okay. Then v1 is there. v1 means the value, it fetched the value of the variable. Okay. So if any student feel difficult to learn C++ programming, so just please concentrate, and if you have any doubts you can ask. Okay, right. So see, v1 means here v1, so it fetched the value of v1. v1 is actually 10. 10 is assigned to v1. Okay, so you'll get v1 plus 10 is space, here one space is there, so space is 10, and I have not used a /n operator, so I'll be getting v1 itself. Suppose if I'm using this /n operator, So if I'm using the slash n operator, okay,
Now we have to give it in quotes.
yes. Yeah. See here. So in this case, slash n means it will come in the new line, next line. So you are getting v1 plus 10 is. It is in the inside the quotes. So you'll get as such the output v1 plus 10 is. Okay. And you are getting v1. v1 you are getting 10. Okay. And see, I have given a slash n operator. So which comes in the new line character. Okay. So which brings in the new line character, right? So you'll get slash n v2. So it is coming to me. Suppose if I want v1 plus 10 is, this 10 also should come down, come in the next line. So what should I do? See?
Now we have to give slash in before v1.
Yes. So inside the quotes, so you can, here itself you can give slash n, right? You just run it. Yeah. Can you see here? v1 plus 10 is, so I have given a slash n. So it automatically the compiler goes to the next line. Okay. So it is you are getting v1. v1 value of v1 is fetched. It is 10 and it's 20. So it got about this variables, usage of variables and the slash n new line character. Is it clear? Is it clear, students?
Yes.
Yes. So here we
Yes,
used
ma'am.
which type of, yeah. Here we used which type of variable? What type of variable is used or declared?
Integer.
Integer. Okay.
Yes.
Integer. So next we'll see an example how to use a character variable. Okay. We have seen variables, integer variable, and next we'll see character variable. For that we'll write in a simple program. So instead of this int, and here I have used an endl manipulator. I'll tell about this endl manipulator also. So after this program, okay. So here, just we are using a character data type. So character data type is declared by using the keyword char. Okay, character v1. One variable is assigned. So it is a character. So we have to represent in quotes. I'm just giving one character. So it is given in quotes. In a character, variable 1 is equal to a. Okay. So next character, one more character I'm declaring v2. So which is equal to slash p. Okay, slash p. So next, so we want to display this out v1. Okay, then out v2. And this v1 is I'm initializing to another character v. Okay, then now out v1. Okay, slash p. Every statement should be terminated by a semicolon. So here character variable is used, right? So character v1. So when v1 is initialized, you see v1 is declared. v1 is a variable and it is declared as a character variable. Okay, so it allocates the memory for v1. Okay, as character. So I am giving the character A here for V1. So another variable is assigned V2. So for this also, it is a character. So it is also assigned with another value /t, right? So then now C out V1. C out V1 means we have to display V1, okay? And C out V2. That means we have to display the variable V2. Now again V1 is initialized to B. Okay, so now can you tell me the possible output for this case? Susindran? Susindran here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Please, can you tell me the possible output in this case?
A.
A.
A. The /t means indicates the tab option, ma'am.
Tab option. Tab option. Yes.
A, B,
Ah,
and A again, ma'am. On next line, new line, A will be printed.
okay. So actually, A is it is it's
B
displaying.
option.
Yes. Okay. Okay. You are arriving. Okay. So just to see, first we are displaying C out V1. What is V1? A is there. Okay. Next we are displaying V2. What is in V2? /t. /t is that means the tab. Okay. So you'll get a tab space, right? So you'll get a tab space here, right? Then you are initializing V1 to B. So now your V1 becomes B. So you're getting B. So this /n means your cursor will go to the next line. So if you are printing something else, like if I'm just printing here, C out of again I am printing V1. Okay. So it comes in the next line. So I'll get A space B. Then the next line you'll get B. Are you getting? Are you getting, students? Are you getting, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Right. So this is what this is for the way to use character variable. Okay. So all these techniques are similar to that of the C language only. Okay. So next we'll see one more program to find the average of two numbers. Okay. See one program to find the average of two numbers. Yes, how to find the average of two numbers? You can
Adding both number and divided by the 2, ma'am.
yes, yes. Okay. So adding numbers and divide by the 2. Right? So you can have relating it. So you can have integer or float. Which one is preferred? So always
There, ma'am.
Float, ma'am.
float. Okay. So we may get in decimal also. So in that case, we can go for float. Okay. Float n1, comma n2. Right. And so you'll get the sum also. You have to something you have to declare some variable to store the sum, right? Sum and average. So everything we can declare as float. You can declare in the same line as well. So in the previous example, I have declared in separate lines. You can declare either of the ways, right? Then Z out. That's what you have to get. You have to get from the user the values of n1 and n2. Okay. Enter two numbers. Enter two numbers. Okay. You can put colon. Whatever you are giving inside the quotes, you will get it in the getter search. Okay. So you can put semicolon. Right. So otherwise, if you are putting /n here, you'll get in the next line. Okay. Then how to receive the number? How to receive the number? Using which statement?
Seeing.
Good. Cin statement. Okay. Cin. So two numbers, n1, insertion operator, n2. Okay. So I have just got the two numbers. Then a simple addition. Sum equal to n1 plus n2. Simple statement. Okay. So then you can find out the average. Average is equal to sum divided by 2, because here are only two numbers, so you can go for sum divided by 2, right? So then you have to display the sum and average. Okay? See out. You can write statements also. The sum is like that, like this also, right? You can write the sum is, right? Sum is like sum. Okay, and the average is averages out. If you want in the next line, here itself you can add slash n. Okay, so whenever you need the cursor to go to the umbrella to go to the next line, you can add the slash n term, right? So slash n average. Average is so in what format you will get the output for this case? Please tell me, students. So when I compile, it will ask to enter two numbers. Okay, so I'm entered two numbers, 2 and 5. Okay, so why it is coming to the next line? See, and the numbers are entered in the next line. So because you have given a slash in here, so you are just getting the numbers in the next line. So just if you enter it, so the sum is 7. Okay, so the sum is 7. So here you have given a slash in the next to see out. So it is coming to the next line and it is displaying like this. Average is 3.5. Okay, so I hope you are very clear with all these concepts, right? So now we'll move on to some of the other concepts, basic concepts. Yeah, so we have used this Endel manipulator, right? What is this Endel manipulator? Okay, so the it is an actually called the line feed. Okay, so if you want to, this causes a line feed to be inserted into the stream. Okay, so subsequent text is displayed on the next line. So if you are just giving enter also, it has the same effect as slash n space character space. Okay, so this endl is an example of manipulator. Manipulators we'll see separately with examples in our other classes. Okay, so but just keep in mind it's an example of manipulator. It has the same, instead of slash n, can also give this endl character also. Next, character variables. Okay, so character variables we have seen. So actually, its size is actually 1 byte, 8 bits of memory. And it range from minus 128 to 127. Okay, so they are used to store numbers. So in a limited range. So but they are commonly used to store ASCII characters. Okay, so ASCII characters means the computer understand the ASCII characters. Okay, so that they range from 0 to 127. So most of the Windows system they use up to 255. Okay, so this is related to the character variables. So here you can see the image, how the character is stored. So I told I have shown the similar image for integer as well. Okay, integers actually 4 bytes. So here it is 1 byte. Okay, so whatever character, it has a character variable as a name. So name of the variable is chvar here for example, and it is stored in the memory location with 1 byte. Okay. So in this way, whenever you declare some variable, so like this, the value of the variable is stored in a memory. Okay. So it is allotted with some room space. Okay, some space. So what amount of space? 1 byte of space is given here. Okay. Now we'll see some more examples. Okay, so we'll see about identifiers and constants. Okay, some more important basics, fundamentals only. Identifiers and constants. So what is identifiers means? It refers to the names of a variable. Identifiers means names of variables or functions or arrays or classes. Okay, so created by the programmer. So identifier is nothing but the names given to variables, or functions, okay, or functions, or I can say arrays or classes. Arrays and classes we have not seen. So we have just seen about this variables and functions. So in the previous program I have just declared int v1. Okay, so here v1 is the variable name. So this is called as an identifier. Okay, so you have some rules here. So only alphabetic characters, digits and underscores you can use. So the name cannot start with the digit. So you cannot declare a integer like this, 2, v1. Like this, it is wrong format. Okay, so this is correct format. So you can uppercase and lowercase letters are distinct. It is actually case sensitive. Okay, so it is case sensitive. So if you're just declaring a variable as capital V1 and somewhere where you're using small v1, so it spots error. Okay, so it is case sensitive, right? So we can also declare the keyword is very important. For integer, you can use int. For character, you are using char, and for double, you are using double. For float, you have using float. So far we have used integer, character, and float, right? Float variables. And if you just represent 1, 2, 3, okay, so it is a decimal integer. It is a decimal. Some examples we can see some decimal integers. Okay, so 12.34. So if you just declare like this, means it is a float. Okay, float point integer, right? So if you just you can also represent in octal form. It is octal. Okay, you can also represent in hexadecimal like OX. 2x means hexadecimal. Okay, hexadecimal form. Then you can give in a form of a string, right? For example, just writing C++ instead two quotes, double quotes. Okay, this is nothing but called a string. So if you're just representing in a single, the identifier in a single quote, it is a character constant. Okay, character constant. Here also this also we can call it a string constant. And if you just declare like this, void character constant is also there. So void character constant. So if you are just writing more characters, if you can put it as void character, right? Void character constant. So these are about the concepts of identifiers and constants, right? So constants means nothing but it refers to some fixed values, okay? So that do not change during the execution of the program. For example, if I'm just declaring int pi equal to 3.14. So this value is a constant, okay? So it does not change. So you can sometimes you can also use the term const int, right? Constant pi equal to 3.14. So these are about constants and variables. Then we'll see in detail about the basic data types. So already we have used a few data types. So we'll see in the basic data types. So C++ data types. It is broadly classified into user defined type, built-in type, derived type. Okay. So it is but data types. Data type means the type of the variables. Okay. For example, the previous program we have used int v1. So v1 is what is the type of v1? What is the type of variable v1 here? Integer. Okay. So similarly, you have different data types. Like here, user defined data type. You just keep a note of it. Okay. User defined data type. We have structures, union. The best example for user defined data type is classes. Okay, classes, enumeration, okay, enumeration, right? And the built-in data type. So actually here it is integer type, int, character. Okay. So this is built-in data type means some data, for example, I'm just declaring in the program I have just declared int v1 is equal to 5. Okay, so this so the compiler is aware of this term, right? So it is an inbuilt data type, so it is aware of the term. So but this structure, union, classes, enumeration, all these are user defined. So you will be using some types. Like, for example, struct you'll use like this: struct uh, employee. Okay, so employee is the variable name and struct is the keyword. Okay, so for this this has to be defined actually by the user itself. This we will see later. So far we have used this built-in data type alone. Okay, built-in data type means the integer type, it is well known to the compiler, and whenever it just write it in like that, so it automatically recognizes it. Okay, right. Then you have this integer data type, and you have one more built-in data type is void. Can you give a few more examples? We have just used one more type, built-in data type. What is that? We have used 3 data types in the programs, example programs: integer, character, and what is the next one?
Float.
Float. Very good. Okay, it's a float. So in the float you have 2 types. Okay, simple float as well as double float. Okay, double float. And in derived data type, we have all these things: arrays. Data also comes in the form of arrays. Functions. Data can also come in the form of function. Pointers. Okay, pointers, reference. Right. So this picture completely explains the basic data types. So both C and C++ compilers support all the built-in data types. In C also, it supports integers, void, float, all those things. In C++ also, it supports the built-in data types. Okay, right? So we'll see one example. So the user defined data type I'll teach you after the classes. Okay. So that means after taking the classes, I'll teach you the user defined data types. Before that, one more thing, we'll see some of the derived data types. Derived data types. How to use this derived. Already you may be knowing the usage of this derived data types. First one, arrays. How to use an array. Okay. So the application of arrays is similar to that of the C language. So you may be familiar. Okay. So the only exception is in the way of initialization. Okay, so how do we initialize the character array in ANSI? See, the compiler will allow us to declare the size as the exact string. So, for example, if we just take a character string of 3, okay, so 3 means you have to, it is a character. So string means string of 3 characters only can have. So you can have X, Y, Z. Okay, So only 3 characters you can have, right? So this is what in the case in C language and all. Okay. So but in C++, the size can be should be one size larger. For example, if you are going for fixed sizes, you should declare like this in of 4. Okay. So that gives equal to x, y, z. So this is okay for C++. Okay. So but generally, how to declare the string means you can declare it like this. You can declare empty space. Okay, and you can, so that you can use any number of values, C, D, like this. Okay, this is preferred one, right? Then this is all about arrays. We'll see more example programs later. Okay, in arrays also. Then functions. So this are, I'm just giving a quick understanding of all these concepts. Already you know in C. As we told before, this derived data types also we have will be using in C language, but little bit modification we are using in C++. For example, in arrays, as we have noted in this example, so we will give the correct string. That means exact strength we will give. For example, in a character, 3 characters are there means we are just giving 3. Okay, here in C++, we it is preferred to give 4. Okay, for 3. And string. So if you can give empty space like this, and you can add more characters. Okay, so functions. So functions. So it is very important in the case of C++. Yesterday itself I told. So you can use the functions. Main is the main function. Okay, all the program starts with main function only. So inside the you can also have classes. Okay, so classes. So if you are having classes, inside the classes you can have any number of functions. Okay, so every task, and these functions will be called by the objects. So it is functions or play a major role in C++ than C language, because it is based on this object oriented concept. Okay, so functions play major role, right? And what is the derived one? Pointers and reference. So pointers and reference, actually we will pointers will denote like this. So it character star const ptr. Okay, so which is equal to, so it is a character, so you can just write it as good, right? So this is a const pointer. So that means it points to the, some pointer is declared and the pointer is initialized also, and we can point to the pointer also. Const character const cp. Okay, so this pointer it is used to point the memory location. So as of now, just remember like this. So pointer is used for, you have memory locations, just to point the correct of my memory location, or to find out the address of the correct memory location, you go for this pointers. Okay. So we'll see in later we'll see a lot of programs using this pointers as well. Okay, right. So now I'll show one more example how to use a for loop control statements. Okay, control statements. Coming under control statements, you have used for loop, if loop, while loop. Okay, all these control statements in your C language. So let me show you how to use a for loop in the C++ program. Okay, so we'll see one simple example. Here itself I'll show. Okay, you please run it in your compiler. So int main. So I'm just declaring one variable float x. Okay, and float, here also we are going to find out the average of some numbers. So in the previous example we have found the average of 2 numbers. Okay, suppose if you want to find out the average of n numbers, so you can go for this using, you can do using for loop, because we have to do from n numbers. Okay, 1 to n, right? So it is float. So I'm just taking sum. uh, so n numbers, see I have only, I want to find out the average of n numbers. Okay, average of n numbers. N numbers means total numbers we have is n. So I have to declare one variable x or n. Okay, and to calculate sum, I'm just declaring one variable. Okay, sum. So for loop is nothing but for int. Okay, I is equal to 1. It is the starting stage. starting one, then you have to give a control statement is less than. So for example, you can have the have for 5 numbers. Just to have a loop for here. You just take for 5 numbers, I plus plus, or you can have n also here. No issues. Okay. Then C in. So first you have to get the number. Okay. Or here you can write the statement also. C out. Enter the number. Okay. Then you can calculate the sum. Sum is equal to sum plus x, right? Then outside you can find out the average. Float average, right? Average is equal to sum by I, and you have to display the average. So when you come for the next class, you write a program. Okay. So to find the average of n numbers, you see for loop. For loop, I have shown you how to use the for loop. See for int I is equal to 1. So I less than a for example, you want to find out the n numbers. You just take it as n numbers itself. Okay. I less than n, or I less than x, you can take I less than x. So I plus plus. So inside the for loop, you have to write the statements. Okay. So you try and come. So when you come for the next class, use for loop. Using for loop, find the average of n numbers. Okay. Using for loop, find the average of n numbers. I hope most of you have completed now itself. If you are well in